Viewers, on our top story today now, hundreds of crore rupees have been rolled out, but a flurry of negative reviews have come to plague the movie Brahmastra. Despite the massive hype and the mega promotions, reviewers have called out the film for lack of a plot. As the team of Ayan Mukherjee, Ranbir Kapoor and Alia Bhatt has it led non-stop promotions but has stopped short of delivering something that the fans like. There is a big backlash. Let's head over to Niranjan in the newsroom for more on this big story.
Ankit, in fact, the story is being looked at very closely. This film, in fact, has generated a very, very big debate. And here from the newsrooms, we've been tracking some of the, reactions that are coming in, some of the reviews that have been given for the film. And, I have Samiksha here with me, who's also tracking the latest developments, what people are saying, etc. But news-wise, let me tell you, some of the reviews this afternoon, Ankit, some of the reviews this afternoon, and these are leading reviews and critics, film reviewers, and they don't have very good things to say. Very interestingly, just before this live broadcast began, a tweet from Abhishek Manu Singhvi, a Congress leader, and someone who's also of the view that this film doesn't really have a good script. And, this is a big talking point. Let me tell you, before I go across to Samiksha, who has details of who's saying what and what the film critics are saying, some of the reviews I have with me, I'm just reading out from the quotes from different websites, different film critics, some calling it a king-sized disappointment, some saying the film is low on content, it's all gloss, no soul. It flubs massively. There is no strong thread in the film, is what some reviewers say. They call it a gift of a disappointment that keeps giving. Cringe-inducing dialogues, visual spectacle which is hollow and lacks depth. All astras, but no script astra. Something very interesting that even Abhishek Manu Singhvi of the Congress party has said. Dishonest film sculpted out of box office desperation is what one of the pro-Lutyens, media houses has said. And the Lutyens, in fact, in the last few days, Samiksha, they've gone all out to promote the film. They've held half-hour specials. Some have held one-hour specials. Some have held discussions galore with the cast and crew talking about how great the film is. Fact is, money is also being eroded. Some of the reviews that you're getting, Samiksha, some of the reactions, and if you can tell our viewers what's happening. Just before I give it to Samiksha, hand it over to her, just one more news point that we have today. Theatre giants are also taking a hit, according to some of the reports that we are getting in, and these are some of the details coming in from leading film websites. Basically websites that just track movies and entertainment, who claim that the stock price of PVR, Ankit, stock price of PVR is slumped by 5%. Stock price of Inox has nosedived by about 5%. According to some reports, PVR and Inox together have lost about 800 crore in one day by sheer market value. Samiksha, what kind of reactions are we getting? And if you can take us through the responses and the details in some of these reviews.
Well, absolutely, Niranjan. Like you pointed out, the storyline actually lacks depth, and this is a sentiment we've been picking up from across the country. Just to quote a few, what these critics are essentially saying, that it is a big disappointment. And these are some of the leading critics who have went on to mention how the storyline lacks depth. It has not really gone down. It has not really resonated among a lot of people in the country. In fact, one of the leading critics has went on to say that Brahmastra is a disappointment. 2 stars, in fact, have been given to this particular movie, saying that it is a king-size disappointment. It is high on visual effects, low on content, could have been a game changer, but alas, it's a missed opportunity, all gloss and no soul. Now, remember the kind of promotions we've been seeing for months now. It's a film that's been in works for over 5 years, if I'm not wrong. So yes, so many years that have gone into making this film, so many promotions that have happened over the past few months. In fact, for so many years now, the promotions that have been happening. But yes, this is something which is not really really resonated among the people, with people. The reviews we've been getting, in fact, is something that is the same across the country. They are saying that it lacks depth, it is lacking that quality. It is high maybe on it's on visual effects, but when we talk about that storyline, that is somewhere missing, Niranjan.
Yeah. And look at the kind of disasters, Ankit. You will have a better idea of this because, you know, you do this day in and out, tracking the digital responses to such stories. But some of the hits and misses, I think there are more misses than hits. Some of the biggest stars have taken a beating at the box office. Hundreds of crores just washed away because somewhere there is a belief that Bollywood has lost connect with India. And I think we have a few panelists also joining us on the broadcast. Let me go across to them and get their perspective. Uday Shankar Pani, filmmaker, member CBFC, joining us on the broadcast live from Mumbai. Let me see if he's live with us. Also joining us on the broadcast, Samiksha, is Rahul Ishwar, activist, live from Thiruvananthapuram. If you can get them on the broadcast as well. Uday Shankar and Rahul Ishwar. Let me go across to Rahul Ishwar. Rahul Ishwar and Uday Shankar, just checking my audio with you. Can you hear me? Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, loud and clear, loud and clear.
Okay, I'm just trying to fix your video, Rahul. Rahul?
Yeah, loud.
Rahul? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear,
okay.
loud and clear. I can hear and see.
What do you make of this, Rahul? Because, you know, somewhere do you think Bollywood is losing connect with reality? I mean, they may have been at some stage, many, many years ago, a feeling that you throw anything at the audience will lap it up, you make hundreds of crores, and you have a heyday at the box office. But looks like the people are showing the mirror. Now, Rahul, that's what it appears from the recent performance.
Let me be very honest with you. I'm a huge fan of Bollywood who made movies like Border, Lagan, Rangate Basanti, Chak De India, Mangal Pandey, so many movies. But it is a matter of reality that it cannot be denied. Over the past decade, especially 5 to 7 years, Bollywood has lost connect to the Indian audience. Whereas the movies from South, whether it is Bahubali, whether it is RRR, whether it is KGF, they have really connected to movies. They are deeply rooted in Indian culture, ethos and values. Yesterday, I saw Brahmastra. You know, I'm an admirer of Alia and Ranbir. I saw Brahmastra, and as you rightly pointed out, it is good on visual effects. Let us be honest about it. But at the same time, it lacks depth. The storyline goes for a toss. See, this is a reality. See, it is not because I have anything against Bollywood, I'm saying this. It's a reality. And you cannot be serious with a movie where you don't even have a serious villain on the other side. You cannot expect, Mauni Roy has performed really well, but you cannot expect a hero without having a very strong villain. The Mission Impossible 2 starts with the famous dialogue. The search for a hero starts with the search for a villain. So some basic premises they have missed, they have not connected. Yes, good visual effects are there. They have done it in a good way so that it doesn't feel that it is too much naive or too much stylish, but they have done it well. At the same point of time, it lacks connect. There are some hits, but 70% of it is misses. I hope Bollywood really reconnects with Indian audience, pick up that sense, because Bollywood is a pride of India. Nobody is denying that. At the same point of time, over the past decade, they have really lost that touch, and South Indian movies have filled that void because they are deeply rooted in culture, whether it is KGA, whether it is Bahubali, whether it is RRR. They have a patriotic fervor. They have an Indian culture connect. But Brahmastra, even after having the word Brahmastra and celebration of many Hindu mythological aspects, they have failed to connect. And one more thing, people like Ranbir and Ali are from illustrious families we respect. I know they need to engage with the audience rather than being dismissive. Whenever there is an issue or whenever there is a controversy, they need to engage with the audience like Amir Khan did. So I hope Bollywood really reconnects and comes back like Kohli after some time.
Yeah, but look at the recent set of disasters. I'm just going through some of the. I mean, I don't watch these too many of Bollywood movies, but I'm just going through some of the names. Let me see if Uday Shankar Pani is also there. Uday Shankar Pani ji, can you hear me? Good afternoon. Okay, I don't have him. Okay, so Samiksha and Ankit, Jug Jio, Lal Singh Chadda, Liger. I mean, these are very, very expensive movies, I'm guessing. They must have spent hundreds of crores on each of these movies. Bachchan Pandey, Samrat Prithviraj, Radhesham, Jersey, Hero Panti 2, Ek Villain Returns, Raksha Bandhan, All of them have bombed. There must be a reason why all these movies are bombing and big stars. I mean, I think there was one Amir Khan movie. Was that Lal Singh Chadda? Yes, I think that was Lal Singh Chadda that bombed. And there's some movie called Liger. I don't know the actor's name, but was believed to be this big box office hit. Was the biggest disaster, isn't it?
True. And just one humble submission as a viewer. And see, the ordinary viewer, because of this digital era, really understand if a movie culturally connects or sirf wo ek dikhawa hai. In order to show something, in order to show and artistically connect, you can simply put some cultural context names and say that this is our culture. But there is a deeper cultural connect. The entertainment value should be there. Not that we are going for the, I'm going for a cultural class there. Cultural connect, entertainment value, the credibility of the stars, the storyline. See, content, people like Rajamouli has made such huge impact. And, I'm a huge fan of Hindi. I promote Hindi all over. But, whenever I go to many places, I point out the largest Hindi movie hit is a dubbed Tamil or a Telugu movie. That means Bollywood has to reinvent themselves. Bollywood has to reimagine narratives. Bollywood has to come up with different narratives so that they can connect that. And Bollywood has been India's brand ambassador to the world. Unfortunately, they have lost that touch. Hope they will come back. This is only going to be a rough patch. Hope they will bounce back to their pristine glory and give us great movies so that it will be a great connection to the world and India's soft power to the world.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, and just looking at some more details that I'm getting in of some of these movies, Ankit. This story called Liger, box office collection according to reports was about 70 crore. Budget was 100 crore. Samiksha, it's a flop. Why don't you take us to some of those numbers? I'm sharing these numbers with you as well. It appears that all this cash is being burned, and somewhere there is a sense that Bollywood was perhaps overconfident with its scripts and was hoping to take people for a ride. Hasn't really happened. Lal Singh Chadda, for example, if you can take us to some of the numbers that we have according to reports, what do the numbers show us?
Well, absolutely. If you go by the figures, Niranjan, when we talk about these movies, the big budget movies that have been released over the past few months, it's something that has not gone down, of course, well with the audience, not really struck a chord with the masses of the country. If we talk about Liger, for that matter, which was made on a budget of over 110 crore rupees, it was a complete flop again. If you talk about Lal Singh Chadda, which was in the making for years at a stretch, it was a high budget movie. It was made at a budget of 180 crore rupees, again proved to be a disaster, with only 63.96 crore rupees that was collected. Raksha Bandhan, which starred the likes of Akshay Kumar, it was again made at a budget of over 110 crore rupees. It managed to collect only 47.37 crore rupees. Ek Villain Returns, Shamshera for that matter, which again starred Ranbir Kapoor. It was built on a budget of 150 crore rupees. It managed to collect only 46 crore rupees. Jug Jug Jio, for that matter, again was a flop, built on a budget of over 100 crore rupees, managed to collect only 84 crore rupees. So yes, what the figures seem to suggest is something that the audience are not really happy with the kind of movies being made in recent times. In fact, if you talk about the big theatres as well, Inox and PVR, the shares have really tanked ever since, over the past few days since Brahmastra was released. In fact, on Brahmastra opening, Inox and PVR stock prices also fell. It tanked by huge margin. And just weeks before Brahmastra's release, PVR and Inox share, it grew by over 2 to 4%. And post that release of Brahmastra, which was talked about all this while, the shares have completely tanked of Inox and PVR. So let's just see how it really pans out. But for now, the reviews are really, really bad. And the viewers have seem to have given a thumbs down when we talk about Brahmastra.